Hey, what's going on, everyone? This is Ferdbird the Nerd with another comic book market report for the last day of September 30th, 2024. I just wanted to do a quick video since we are off this weekend. We may do a live show later this week, but it'll just depend on everyone's schedule. But I do thank everyone for their support, continuing to watch our channel. If you could do me a favor, click that subscribe button. It takes about 3 seconds or so. And leave a comment for us, too, to let us know what books you're enjoying and what books you want to look at. This is the last report for the third quarter, 30th of September. Tomorrow enters the Halloween season. I think I'm going to keep the theme with some more spooky books, if you will. It's my favorite time of the year as far as comic books are concerned, or media in general. So, yeah, let's get into it. I did find that there was a little bit of a dip in the market from the past week or so for the past, year over. A lot of these books were on a ton of top 10 lists from the past year. And I just kind of want to see the consistency of like, okay, is it still true that when news comes out, that's the time you want to sell? Or when the hype, FOMO, whatever you want to call it, when's the best time to sell? When's the best time to buy a book? And there's a lot of books in this report today that have come down, 50, 60, 70%. And if you were, just wanting it to collect the book, this might be a good time to buy. And yeah, let's just get into it. All right, first book I got on the roster here. Marvel Team Up number 14. This book has been really consistent as far as high value. I've only seen this book a couple times in person, and they always have it for like 50 to 80 bucks. Now, I think that's a pretty good deal. I probably need to go back to that store and see if they still have it for a good price. But a 9.2 for a modern book sold for 120 bucks. 125 to 150 for a raw book. This book, yeah, I think it definitely perks my ears when I see it. It's definitely, a cross between a classic character that still has fandom, along with a newer character that is not part of the Marvel Universe. I would say that Invincible is probably the strongest non-superhero from the Marvel or DC universe. He has a show. He has a pretty good following. It's Gen Z for sure. A little bit of younger millennials. Low print run. This is a random book, in my opinion, as well. It's a later print run or later issue as well, so it just adds to the rarity of this book. But great book to have. I think could be considered a modern top 100 for sure. Something is Killing the Children. I have a lot of independent books on this list today, but yeah, I think the book is starting to catch I wouldn't say heat, but consistency for sure. There's a lot more news coming out about the series being worked on. I haven't really read that much about casting just because I haven't really paid a lot of attention to this book. But 9.6ers are selling for $350. 9.8s are averaging around $650 to $800. I don't know if you buy a 9.8 at this point, if you're going to make your money back or if it's going to pop up. It just depends on with the popularity and kind of the knowledge about this book and the story. But it's a fun story, kind of a spooky story for sure. And that's kind of where I think a lot of the optioned stories that are doing well as far as like collectability, like Last of Us, I would say the Penguin series that came out, they're all these gritty type of stories. I know that Stranger Things doesn't have a comic book tied to it, but it's, I would say, one of the top shows for Gen Z for sure. And, Gen X alike. So I think there's value in the later prints as well. I don't know. I think probably the 7th or 6th printing probably has the best covers, but nonetheless, this is the first print. This has been reprinted on a couple other types of books, but this is the COVID book of the COVID era for indies for sure. So on to the next one. Harley Quinn number 37. Now this book was an odd one. It had the later print run, right? Or print issue. I remember when this book came out, $400, $450 for a raw. I think a 9.8 sold for like $600, $650 when they came out, and that was the time to sell. I think this is perfect. If you're an FLC person, this is the perfect FLC book. There were not a lot of these that came out when FLC first came out, but when it did sell, they went out like bandits. I know a lot of people on the Discord and just in the community had scooped this book up, and they probably still have it in their PCs. But 9.6s are going for $400, which I think is still really strong. Bummer though. If you had that 9.6 for $400, I hope you got an FOC and made your money back. It's really strong though for a 9.6 book that came out this year alone. So beautiful book. Actually, I'll never buy it. Okay, Uncanny X-Men 333. You all know this is the first appearance of Bastion. This book was selling for 25 to 30 bucks on the success of X-Men 97, if you will, which is odd because a lot of the viewership numbers didn't come in very high, but the comic book community loved it. So I would say, yeah, $8 for a near mint. The one book to get, I think, is the newsstand. There are arguments as to what the first appearance of Bastion is, but this is the book to get as far as the market's concerned. I think this isn't like a gradable book. I would say like just get it to have the appearance. But as far as like I'm gonna slap this book and I'm gonna hold it on and encase it for 50 years, I don't think it holds anything special personally. But I do, nostalgia wise, I do love this late 90s era of X-Men, Marvel books in general. It just brings me back to that. But I would never really want to like slab a book and keep it on my PC. I would definitely flip this book if I had it at the time, but the time to sell was definitely when the excitement for X-Men 97 came out. It's kind of obviously it's cooled down quite a bit. So $8 for a near mint though, which ain't bad. I keep going to the wrong slide. All right, another indie book, Proof number 1. This is X-Files meets monsters type thing. This series is in the works for Fox. I can't really think of a, in the comments, if you guys know, I can't think of a show that was optioned to Fox that's done really well, be it comic book wise. Still pretty high though, $44. I think there's a lot of fandom with this book and a lot of hope with Fox. I think they do really good stuff. I don't know if it's coming out on Fox or FX, but if it comes on FX, I think it's going to do really well. I didn't know this, but FX had like 32 nominations or awards for winning like Emmys this year, which is incredible. So that's probably what is adding a little bit of the fandom. I think the writers at Fox are doing a really good job. Obviously, they're winning awards. And $44, there hasn't been really any new like news out this, but I wonder if to buy this at 44, slab it, hopefully 9694. Do you sell when the preview comes out for this show, or when do you sell it? Maybe we'll look into that once the show actually comes out, more news comes out. Definitely right now the time to sell has been when the character's shown up on TV, or even better when the trailer hits and the character's shown up on the trailer as well via null. I'm just gonna go on to the next one. Deadpool Merc with the Mouth number 6, 7, I can't remember. This has held out really well. I think, since the success of Deadpool, you could argue and say that Deadpool was the number 1 movie of the year for Marvel, Sony, whatever you want to call it. This third print's going for $90 and 9.2, which I think ain't bad at all. Raws are still going for like 45 to 50. I think it has to do with the later print run. These are beautiful covers regardless. And I think Lady Deadpool, regardless if she shows up ever again, she's going to be remembered being in Deadpool versus Wolverine. So I think the Fox Marvel network, it's a popular segment of Marvel, and I wouldn't mind buying a 9.4, 9.6 at $110. It's a beautiful cover. Maybe crack it and get some piece, get some restoration in that bad boy. But yeah, I think Raws are still going for a nice amount, and this book does definitely have some staying power. So before I get into the last slide, I only have about 2 left. I just want to say thanks everyone for all your support. Do me a huge favor, click that like button. We'll still keep doing these shows. We're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. At that point, if we make it to 1,000 before end of the year, maybe I'll do a big giveaway. If not, we may shut down the channel. We'll see. But I do thank everyone for their support and continue to watch these shows. And without further ado, let's get into the last 2 slides. 4 Kids Walking to Bake. Now, our favorite app isn't really accurate, and this is the one thing I don't like about Key Collector. But you have to do your own research anyway. Is they don't really update the values that they report low, mid, high grade, and everyone always gravitates to the high grade, right? So, and this isn't a knock on Key Collector because I know that's a lot of data you have to update all the time. It's probably really hard for them to do. But this book is not going for $100 in high grade. There's a lot of fandom with this book. It's been optioned. the option news, yada yada. I don't know if it's going to be that successful though, as far as the show is concerned. And even if it is successful, I don't think it's going to push this book up higher. 15 to 20 bucks for this book in a near mint. I think if you had this book prior and you were holding to it, before the option news, you kind of missed the boat on selling it. I don't know if a preview is going to really help this book. When it comes to series, I always find that, yeah, the trailer might hit if it's a brand new show, but the show has to do really well, albeit Last of Us, the first one. So supply demand is not really hitting the demand sides. The supply is definitely a lot higher. But the one thing about this book is that it is an indie. Who knows? I hope people gravitate towards this book. I'm not really. I'll watch the show, but I didn't read the series when it came out, and yeah, but I'll watch the show for sure. So on to the last one for the week. I gotta stop doing that. All right. Infamous Iron Man #1. Now, this has cooled down quite a bit since what I saw. I saw Raws when Robert Downey Jr. showed up, and it was going for like 50 to 60 like right away. I think that's still the time to sell the book. There's so much uncertainty with what Iron Man or Doom is going to show up, what version of him is going to show up, when he's going to show up, all that type of stuff. Albeit, though, this is going for 30 bucks in a near mint. I found an odd sale, though, as a best offer, and I didn't have time to look it up. And this Ribic version went for 65, and it was in pretty good condition. I personally think the trade dress of this is a lot better than that Ribic variant, but the Ribic does, have the rarity within it. But if I was to decide what book to get out of all of these, I'd go with this cover just because I think the art's pretty cool on this first cover A, and I think the fonts and the just the cover itself does really well for this book. So a little short show, 9 books for you guys for this week. I just want to do something before midweek. We may do a live show later this week. I'm not sure, but if you did enjoy this video and want to see more, please hit that like button, subscribe to all your friends, and we'll see you next time. You all have a great week. I'll do a video tomorrow, and thanks for watching.